Holiday casino events include a hidden advantage, resulting in an improved slots gambling performance. But there is a downside. You'll have to visit the casino very early in the morning, but perhaps you don't mind that difficulty. The most reliable holiday pattern I've discerned from my slots gambling records come after the crowds have mostly gone home, say around 4 a.m. or 5 a.m. the following morning after the holiday. This observation means attending the mornings after major holidays and the mornings after almost holiday celebrations like Black Friday or Derby Day or Valentine's Day. I'll get into more details about this shortly. And of course, I'll be taking your questions because this is a live stream. I'm only saying that because, of course, the people who are live here now know it's a live stream, but you might be watching this after the fact. Hello to you watching this recording from Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, my Facebook page, and of course, YouTube, where the live chat is. But if you're in one of those sites, just feel free to make a comment and I'll see it here. Um, and Camilla says, good day, hit the like button. And yes, please hit the like button. It is so we get the word out, so YouTube spreads the word to everybody, all the slots enthusiasts who need this information on how to win after holidays, and every other thing that we talk about as far as the questions and answers. So again, hello to you watching this recording. Thank you for being here, and be sure to subscribe for notifications so you can have your questions answered the next time I do one of these. But either way, stick around and I'm sure it'll be of value to you, even if you are watching this after the fact. Yeah, but those of you who are here live, thank you so much. If you have a question, please use #question. That's so I can be sure to spot your question to me instead of comments in the live chat to each other. After all, this is a community video where friends check in about how their slots play has been going lately. This video will not be available for more than about a week. I only keep the last 3 live streams available. If you have the link, then you'll be able to watch it because it'll be what's called unlisted. But I want to give everybody a chance to, in case they miss the live stream, to be able to watch it within a few days. And it's so much more fun when you're here to see all the comments and the interaction. So improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots. Where are you at? I thought I had that. Yes, 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership, which we meet tonight, where you get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com/30 days. Here, let me provide that link to you. Be careful to use when you use it because you might jump out of the live stream, and I'd hate for that to happen. So right click and visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. If you click the green button here, you'll come to the sign-in page, and there's a few brief summaries and what the bonuses are for the course. So you'll find that. Just go to professorslots.com/30 days. And just checking to see what if I'm missing anything in the live chat. Okay, good. Any emergencies or anything like that. I also want to thank my moderators for being here. It is a beautiful fall day in the Midwest, the United States, and thank you for coming in and taking care of this. My holiday winning strategy exists because it's a counter strategy to casinos' marketing plans for holiday special events. Last time, my last live stream on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I told you about special promotional events, but there is a significant difference between that and holiday special events, and that's for 2 reasons. First, holiday events are huge. They're bigger than any promotional event in the year. Some of them might be small, like it might just be a dinner for Valentine's Day, but how do you compare New Year's Eve to the biggest promotional event you might have? It's these holiday events get to be large crowds on some of them. Second, it's national. Every casino celebrates New Year's Eve, right? So if you are looking to see if you can take advantage of this holiday, of this winning holiday strategy, if you have several casinos, if you're in, I don't know, Biloxi, or if you're in the state of Washington, perhaps, where there's a particular area of that state where there's a couple of casinos. Of course, Las Vegas, Reno. Did I mention Biloxi? There's places that you can go where you can skip from one casino to the next. Downtown Cincinnati, and the one just outside of Cincinnati, and the one up the road from Cincinnati. There are places in the country where there's more than where casinos have competitors. And you can get to several casinos at the same time. You can't do that with promotional events, because one casino has a promotional event and the other one, maybe it'll have a different promotional event if it's a Friday. So yes, holidays are big. Holiday events at casinos are big if they have one, if they celebrate it, which I'll get into, and second, it's national. So what are the upcoming holidays? Comment below with our next holiday. This is something that you may know, but is also something you may want to keep track of, better track of, just to win at slots. Less than a month ago, there was Labor Day. And we have 10 federal holidays in the US, up from 9, right? We now have Juneteenth. But there's also national celebrations. So I call them, sometimes I call them almost holidays. There are there's New Year's Day is a holiday, but New Year's Eve, I call it an almost holiday. Another better word for that perhaps is celebration. So there's national celebrations. For instance, today is September 29th, and there are 6 celebrations going on today. I'll mention one of them. National Coffee Day. No, true. My daughter was born on National Speak Like a Pirate Day. Well, they didn't have it when she was born, but now it's her birthday. So, who's with me for celebrating coffee? And tomorrow is International Podcast Day, which I happen to know because I have a podcast. And Saturday is National Homemade Cookies Day, which I did not know. But none of these are celebrated by casinos. Even Veterans Day can be hit or miss. Last year, I went to a couple of the casinos in, historic horse racing machine casinos in Kentucky, HHR machines, and one casino was going to have has hearts everywhere, had hearts everywhere, and they had a couples dinner that night, all planned, and the other casino, nothing. So it can be hit or miss. But what about our next national holiday? Anybody know what it is? Columbus Day on October 10th. And then there's the almost holiday, kind of a celebration, Halloween, October 31st. Then in November, we have a couple national holidays, Veterans Day and Thanksgiving Day. And then we have several more almost holidays, celebrations, Black Friday. Anybody remember Black Friday last year? Wow. What a busy time at the casino. Every casino. You guys are all talking about it. Then there's, that's the day after Thanksgiving. Then there's Small Business Saturday, Cyber Monday, immediately following it. So what we're looking for is whether your casino is busy on holidays and these celebration days, whether casinos planned a special celebration or tons of people just showed up without being asked. What we're looking for is, was it a busy night at the casino? Casinos give out jackpots on busy nights because, well, it's a busy night. But casinos don't give out as many jackpots as needed. Close, but not quite. And you won't even notice. Why do casinos do that? Because they're avoiding the risk of giving out too many jackpots and overshooting their financial profit target, which they've promised their investors. So given such large crowds, the casino was likely doing quite well in terms of revenue. Paying out a few less jackpots would hardly negatively impact the tremendous amount of revenue pouring in or their reputation. Again, players won't notice. What I've seen is casinos keep giving out jackpots well after the crowds go home, say starting around 4 a.m. And by 6 a.m., they've stopped giving out those jackpots. When I go in early after a big night at one of my local casinos, I pick up one or more hand-paid jackpots at little expense. On the morning of Thanksgiving Day, from my slots gambling records, I won 3 taxable jackpots. I won my largest jackpot to date a few days before Christmas Day for $27,000. And yes, that was a shock. I never won more than $5,000. My biggest hand pays before that were like 4 or 5 total $5,000 one, many other smaller sizes, but previously it was only $5,000 that I had won. And that $27,000 was, wow, was kind of blew my mind. That happened at 5:40 a.m. It was the second of 4 hand-paid jackpots I won between 5 a.m. and 8:40 a.m. Now, there's a lesson there. I kept track of I should have left. This was early days, and I had some things to learn. But that was at 5:10 a.m., and I noticed that everything stopped at 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7. But then I kept playing, and I noticed how much I spent. Well, we'll talk about that. So I learned 3 surprising things when the jackpot was paid out. First, the casino slot attendant needed to be accompanied by a floor manager for approving any jackpot over $10,000 or more. Up till then, I didn't know that. Number 2, the casino slot attendant didn't count out the individual $100 bills into my hand, but instead set down a bundled brick of 100 $100 bills. And 3, I collect those bands, by the way. And 3, the pockets of my jeans would only hold $20,000 and a mobile phone and my wallet without any $100 bills peeking out. And these are the things that I learned, and I was surprised. So I suggest stopping at 6 a.m., right? And do you know who I learned that from? I took one for the team, as they say. That's how I know to stop at 6 a.m. instead of at 8:40 a.m. I lost far too much bankroll in the 2 hours and 40 minutes after 6 a.m. Yes, I won a third hand paid jackpot then, but it wasn't profitable given the bankroll spent after 6 a.m. I returned a few days after that Christmas to win 3 more taxable jackpots over 35 minutes, starting 10 minutes after I began playing at 4:45 a.m. on Saturday after a busy Friday night at the casino. This session was during the weekend between Christmas and New Year's. I didn't win any taxable jackpots on the day after, but I didn't arrive until like 7:45 a.m. that morning. When I look over my slots gambling records, these wins jumped out at me. If you keep gambling records for income tax preparation purposes, do more than just prepare for your taxes. I offer an inexpensive course on how to, make a few notes to yourself on your slots gambling records about if your visit was early the morning after a holiday celebration. And, what time you were there? Which machine were you playing on? Which one did somebody else get a big win on, or did you get a big win on? And the time when you won it. Because now you know where you'll be next year and every year on the morning after that holiday. So how this works is I talk for a little while, and then I take questions, either about this or something else. Yes, not every casino. So I see a question from one of my moderators, Texas Tootsie, Jan, who comments that this strategy does not work at Kashada. Ironically, the weekend before a holiday is better. Yes, so this is something that you can use at casinos that have it. And it doesn't cost you any money. It costs you a little bit of sleep, perhaps, but it doesn't cost you any money. Just go to, say, the high limit room and stand there. Have a seat. Don't spend money. Wait half an hour. Anybody winning? I mean, somebody has to be there who's betting, and because you need that. But that one person winning over $10,000 on a hand pay, that's how you know. Now, if you go 3 times and 3 different times somebody was playing and nobody won a big hand pay, well, could be like Kashada in Louisiana, Tribal Casino in Louisiana. They just don't do it. They just don't need it. They're either good enough at their accounting that they don't need to have that method in place to do their balancing on their accounting. And for whatever reason, if they don't have it, they don't have it. And I know Jan has thoroughly checked this. But at casinos that do have it, and like downtown Cincinnati, but not Belterra Park outside of Cincinnati, this is what you look for, and you can check either by betting yourself, or you can just, I'm more concerned about your bankroll than you are. People have told me that. I am a lot more concerned, but you can not spend money and see if they have it. Yeah. Or the thing that is might be a bit upsetting is if you do see that win, and that might be all they're going to give out, and you might be like, it could have been mine. And then you have to wait until October 10th for Columbus Day and see if they celebrate it, and then for Veterans Day, right? And then we have Thanksgiving in November, and so the holidays can be a bit further away. We have sort of a group of them coming up in November, late November, and then we've got the Christmas holidays in December. So this is the time of the year when we don't have to wait too long. It might be a little while to Halloween. It might be a little while to Columbus Day. But again, we need to have people come in and enjoy that holiday at your casino. Serenity says, I got a hand pay at Bellagio on Easter Sunday this year, and then 2 more on Monday, not at 4 a.m. Hey, was it 4 p.m.? And she also says, hi, sweet kitty. So over here is my cat that she's saying hello to. And which probably brings up the best thing I could say. So I am moving to Reno, and it is going to be in something like the next 2 weeks. And the dumpster, I'm making 3 piles of stuff: donate, junk, and keep. And the dumpster has arrived. I also boxed up 14 boxes of engineering textbooks. I haven't done the physics textbooks yet, and I sort of got started with half of the cookbooks, and that should be a couple 3 boxes, and then I've got 30 boxes of science fiction fantasy, and Paula's heading up this way, down to Ohio, and you might be able to see her on if she cares to show her face up here in the loft. She might be downstairs moderating, but she'll be here on the Saturday live stream. Yes, so Camilla says, what is usually the luckiest major holiday? Everything from the whole year is somewhat centered around middle of November through the end of the year, including January 1st, but excluding January 2nd. So everything shuts down January 2nd. It's just like, they can't believe everybody was just winning yesterday and not anymore. And that's real shocker. So that would be a time when there's just, 2, 3 major holidays. But, what do you call Black Friday, Cyber Monday? Small Business Saturday, then, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. There's like, altogether, what is it? There's something like 2, 4, 6, 8 holidays in like 45 days. Yeah, that's the period of those holidays mattering. Um, uh, and yeah, U.S. I saw a couple of Monday. I saw Halloween decorations. It's it's they're out already. It's not even October, and I was a little surprised that yeah, that by the end of September we don't have all of the Thanksgiving stuff up. Not to mention Christmas. It is, yes, Thanksgiving is a modest holiday in Canada, absolutely, and Boxing Day, is coming, and so it really does depend on what the casinos celebrate. What do they do to draw people in? That's what you're looking for. Yeah. Uh, Susan says my hubby is September 19th to arg. Um, is what? Because that's my daughter's birthday. Just to say that. And Maurice says, off work to get your live stream. Huge fan, sir. Hey, Maurice. It's good to have you here. Yeah, Camilla says, good luck with the move. Yeah, everything's got to get out. Um, hey, Bruce. Bruce says, we'll be going to Vegas soon. What type of ID will I need to show when I win at large hand pay? You need a government issued ID. So if you were in the military, that would work. State driver's license doesn't have to be the state of Nevada. You can take your passport. Becomes a question like there's a passport, and then there's like a pass card, and that gets in the interesting areas. Basically, you need a government issued ID, and by government, I don't necessarily mean the U.S. government. If you're a Canadian resident, then you don't have a U.S. passport or U.S. driver's license, or unless you spend, well, there's situations, but government issued ID. And Paula says that's the plan. Yep, that's the plan. Hey, Maurice. And did you just change your name on your channel? And glad you have you here. Minka, I saw Christmas decorations at some dollar store yesterday. Maybe they never took them down. Maybe they're up every all the time. Hey, Joanna. Joanna, thank you. She's a moderator, one of my moderators. Paula is another, as is Jan and more others who may be silent or not here. Thank you all. I'm feeling safer already. Yeah, Camilla says Boxing Day is big in Canada, right? So what is your big holidays? And then if it works at your casino, you can check it out. And then if it works, then you know where you're going to be the morning after Boxing Day from now on. Go get your $27,000 win or whatever. Hey, Mel, welcome. So please use hashtag question if you have a question. I got packing to do. So if you don't ask a question, I have a question from Pat, which I will share. And make sure you ask your questions. I got to go do some heavy lifting and collect people for helping me use my dumpster to put couches in. Kiri is on a love seat, which is, you might start to notice things no longer being on the walls in the next couple of live streams, and the couch may be gone. Love seat. So what is Pat's question was, wondering, are all class 2 slots all set at the same percent, or can they have different percent set in that casino? So this doesn't concern a lot of people, but the people it does concern, they're very concerned about it, if that makes sense. There's something that tribal casinos are allowed to have. Most tribal casinos are allowed to have. Most tribal casinos, however, don't care to have them, partly because players are more interested in playing what they call Vegas-style slot machines, Class 3 Vegas-style slot machines. Like, for instance, the casinos in Michigan, I have yet to find a Class 2 machine. Yet in, um, was it Wisconsin? No, Minnesota. In Minnesota, they only have tribal casinos, but they do have some Class 2 machines at some of the Ho-Chunks casinos. So if you're at a tribal casino, there's a possibility they will have Class 2 machines. Usually we say it's a bingo style machine because it's a skill-based game and it's based off the game of bingo. Now, there are rare instances, all these little details. If you are in the state of Alaska, they will have them based off of pull tabs. And there's other ways to have skill-based games that don't involve bingo. And for instance, Indiana has defined poker games, video games, as Class 2 skill-based slots. So Class 2 is skill-based slots, and we'll just assume that you have poker as the game. Anyway, Class 2 is based on the skill-based game. For most, that's bingo. So percent is based on math from bingo game rules. To answer your question, different percent can be set at different casinos if they use different bingo game rules. It's like poker table games, not video poker, but it's like poker. Each specific game has different game math. If you play Texas Hold'em, it's one thing. Jacks are better, it's another. Bonus, it's another. So the game math, which leads to what the return percent is different for each type of game. And there's more than one type of bingo game. So what we need to know is, what are the bingo game rules? Is there a national standard game, which is very unlikely, or several standard games, far more likely, like with poker? If so, then we can get to, the casinos can get to choose which percent they want by switching to slightly different bingo games. And thanks for the excellent question, Pat. I enjoy these great questions, and I'll keep digging into it. There's always more to learn. And so Billabong is here, and hope you are good. I want to know if you start playing slot games and all. What was your age? In India, only few gambling, because that's right. You had mentioned before that you were in India. I went to a casino when I was underage. And I will tell you how old I was. I won't tell you how many years ago it was, with my grandmother, and I was something like 12 years old. And we saw harness racing, which is the two-wheel cart behind a horse and a racetrack in Swartz Creek, Michigan. And went with my grandmother, and Wind Placer Show, and learned all of that. Parimutuel racing is what they call it. And at racetracks. And so, but then I didn't go to it's all kind of discussed in my book. In 2003, when I was in graduate school, and that would have been 20 years ago. And I, in my late 30s, went into played slots in a casino for the first time. And then thought that was interesting. I was in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, went to Keywad Inn in Manistee, stopping for the night in a hotel, and they gave me, at the time they were still using coins, and they gave me tokens to play, and it was kind of a woof sort of thing. Yeah. Yeah, people are saying underage. Wow. Yes. And welcome. I hope you find this fun, interesting. I am trying to be helpful. And if you have a question, I will be happy to answer it about slots. Not dating advice or something. Certainly not moving advice. Okay. So staying on topic, for you in India, I didn't start until the ripe old age of late 30s. And that's kind of the question you asked. So I'll stick with that. And Camilla says, I went underage with my mom. Oh, in Reno. They weren't too strict about ID back when they had real silver dollars. Wow, nice. And Patty, welcome. First live for me. So fun and interesting. I'm glad you think so. We all think so. And this is the associate producer. Her name is Kiri. I have a dog under the table. He's the intern. He's a puppy. He turned 16 months just like earlier this week. And he is an intern. I don't know if you've ever had an intern before, but interns have a lot of energy. They're a lot of fun. Not exactly helpful. and today I got a dumpster put into my driveway, and he kind of barks at that. So he seems to be taking a nap right now. But before, he was barking like, "What's that strange device out in the parking lot, out in the driveway?" Yeah, and great. And so let's see if we can come up with one more question. And oh my goodness, I got in so much trouble for this. And it was fascinating to see the different opinions. Linda asked me a question, which was, and I put this on TikTok and I put this on Facebook, and what is the tip percentage to slot attendants for Handbase? And my answer was $20. Usually there's 2 slot attendants. And less than $10,000, I would give $20 to the first and $20 to the second, the verifier slot attendant. And man, did I get all kinds of heat from people who were on TikTok were just like 20%. It needs to be 20%. And I'm like, this wasn't a half-hour dinner at a restaurant, where they brought me food. This is, and there's a lot of hate. My sisters are waitresses. I tip, and $20. I did a little bit of math about how much would it be, if you look at some of the data that is available, how many hand pays are given out in, say, a week? 2,000. You can verify it. There is data out there that some casinos will provide. So 2,000 hand pays, $20 tips is $80,000, where $20 goes to one and $20 goes to the second, and 2,000 hand pays, that's $80,000 per week, split between 50 slot attendants at a mid-sized casino. So that's $1,600 in tips each week for each slot attendant, which is $83,200 a year in tips. If everybody who got a hand pay tipped, which is not the case. Yeah. And that's just the lower end. When I get $10,000 or more in a line hit in a hand pay, W2G hand pay, I give them $100 each. Yeah. Haven't done the someday maybe I'll do the over $100,000, and I have plans on giving each $1,000, but so far I haven't done that. Yeah, it's so let's see. We have did I skip a question? There was a question from hey Danny, hello to you in Illinois. I'm over in Ohio for a little while yet, and Steve's here. Hey Steve's here. He's in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And Minka says, I never considered tipping slot attendants till you talked about it a few weeks ago. I like the $20 because I can get a $20. I mean, I was getting 7 hand pays a night, and it was, I'm not gonna count out the right change for 20% or 10% or 5%. I just found it was easier to get back to winning if I gave them a 20, and if I didn't have a 20, I had 100, and they were happy to break it, and they would look puzzled and surprised, and, "What are you doing?" When I would take one of those $20 bills that they broke the 100, "Could you break 100?" And they give me 20s, and I give one back to them, and they're like, "What's that?" It was just like, "I'm so sad for you. Aw." Yeah, yeah. It's just, see, the things that are happening, uh, I there are things that are happening, um, where I'm explaining to you freely how to win, and, hope that you'll take my services on how to get out of the casino with your winnings, with my online course, etc. Because that's the first thing. There's consequences to winning, which is, oh, I didn't know I needed to get a gamble box, or how to, what's it like to walk out with something? I'd really like to keep it. How do I do that, John? Now that you've taught me how to win, and consequences are like taxes, but also tipping. You can get good information from slot attendants, and you can improve that relationship, with tipping, and that's all to the good. My, one of my most best pieces of advice is get to know your casino. Get to know your casino well. Know which holidays they celebrate, what promotions, what's the big events, and you can get information from the people that you meet. I mean, some of my hosts, even the substitute host that was there when my host wasn't there, who filled in. She showed me baby pictures, and there was a Bengals family, in uh, Cincinnati, and they had the baby was wearing a Bengals clothing, and it's just so cute, and so you really get to know them like family. And if you want to, learn something from slot attendants, slot technicians, realize you don't want their advice. Seriously, they people talk to them, and they kind of think they know something. What you want from them are their facts, not their opinions. So if they say, "I saw somebody win on that machine over there for this much on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock," that's all good information. But then if they follow that up with, "Because they had a lucky troll doll," then you have to kind of like chop it off. So you listen to their facts, use their facts, and then when they start giving the opinion, "Hey, man, you've got a better opinion than just about any casino employee." Some casinos do allow their employees to make bets on their slot machines, but most don't. So they're not even at most casinos, they're not even playing at that casino. What advice could they possibly have? It's getting a little better at that. Um, Yes, Serenity, yes, it's not just, so Serenity says many casinos pool their tips nowadays. Yes, they do that outside of casinos. The cooks in restaurants never get tipped unless their tips are shared from the waitresses, then waiters. So that cooks can, what are they going to get? A better hourly rate? And my sisters are waitresses, and they have taught me all of this. So yeah, casinos, 10, 15 years late, but they share. Yeah. Yeah. Um, let's see. Did I miss a question? Use hashtag question if you have a question. Uh, yes. And Camilla's, I mean, people are sharing here. Um, Camilla is in Canada, and she's talked to me about how you cannot use the gamble box. There's one right over there. It's kind of dark, so you can't see it. that has a slot in the top. It doesn't work with Canadian money. Why not? Because it's plastic, too slippery. So Camilla has shared all kinds of things. Minimum hand pay, she says, here is $500 Canadian. Attendant counts money into your hand, $5 bills at end. It's customary to hand back at least one of those $5 bills. Good. I'm glad to hear that. I also heard, was it you or somebody else just today, a comment on YouTube, or was it an email that someone said they don't like to give out $50 bills, and they say it's unlucky. I hadn't heard that before. So, and so if you have a question, please use #question. Camilla, no tax here, so that is not a problem. Thank goodness. Well, if you go to the United States, is there a tax? So I don't do international finance, but it would be something I'd like to know more about. U.S. casinos seem to have a much more in way of comps. I suppose. Oh, Paula answered my question about cooks usually get paid a better hourly rate. Okay. And wow, in India, 30% taxes, so no chance to make money. 30% off the top. Wow. Yes, Camilla, if you would either send me an email or mention it here, what your alternative for the Canadian bills being plastic, I would be interested. I found locks boxes, like, you carry around a box, but maybe you cut a slot in it, and it's just like, if you've got a good solution, I'd be interested in hearing it. Yeah. I'm not going to make them in my garage. So and John is in the Philippines. Everybody should give 250. This is pesos, so I believe, if I remember correctly, it's something like $4 for US dollars. Thank you so much, John. As always, it is appreciated. Thank you. And I always get shocked by that 250. Yes. So let's see. There's a question from Steve, which I just need it to pop up here. There it is. Okay. Could you please explain on low and high volatility machines, what to look for? Thank you. What is to look for? Thank you. So volatility is something that other slots channels are using wrong. They call it volatility, I think, because they kind of like the word volatility. It's a beautiful word. It's a lovely word. Makes people sound smarter. Um, and when you want to talk over somebody's head, use words like volatility. That seems to be the whole point of using the word volatility. And the only people that don't think that they're smart is the people who know what volatility actually is. So volatility is what's called variance in statistics. It's also, have you heard of standard deviation? Well, deviation is the difference. You have an average value, and how far from that average on either side of that average is the amount. If it's high volatility, it's going to be wider, and if it's low volatility, it's going to be narrower and more closer to the average. They are actually using the word frequency. The meaning that they're using for volatility is something completely different. They're talking about frequency. So you're talking about low frequency and high frequency machines. Well, how do you learn that? Well, you cannot learn what a low frequency machine is, because why would you continue to play when you're not winning? So you can't know. High volatility machines, you can, if you're winning all the time, then you're winning all the time. Yeah. You're asking if you can find out what it is before playing it. Well, you can watch other people play it. You can, use the tough love method. You can, watch and see what's going on. All the usual things. Yeah. Um, yeah. Remember that these other channels are using volatility to talk over your head and give themselves a mystique and make themselves sound smart, which, if it works, have fun, get you your views. But if you actually want to know how to use volatility, well, that's not frequency. That's actually a term from poker where you know the game rules and can look at the statistics. Yeah. 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 It's sad. The state of education on statistics. They don't know. They can't know. They don't want to know. Yeah. Sad. Camilla, question. Believe it or not, a regular 12-ounce soda can. Okay. The sticks inside wall have you get out with a can opener at home. I've tested it. I'm an engineer. I just love solutions. Please don't stick your finger in there and cut your finger trying to get it out. Like you say, open it when you get home. Yeah. Wow. Steve, you already asked that question. And Maurice, are the must hit that easy to see? I've been to many casinos, been playing for about 2 years. There are not many casinos that have progressive machines that have a label next to one of the progressive jackpots saying must hit by. Sometimes it says must pay by. And not many machines, not many casinos have that. The casinos that do have it don't have it on all their progressive machines. They only have it on a few. So as machines are coming in, a few machines are getting that little feature, but you can figure it out on your own. It just takes a while. And Minka says about the soda can, I might accidentally toss out the soda can. Wow, do you recycle? Because whoever's recycling it, it's going to be like, whoa, found somebody's stash. KA, hey, good to see you, KA. Does it make a difference if you use cash or the casino voucher? Sometimes I feel the barcode on the voucher lets the machine know he just won. Take his money. So no, but that doesn't really help people. People want to have reassurance. So there's an easy way to do this. If you get a win, take out the voucher, put another $100 in, and do that again and again and again. Don't put or $20 in. Don't put all your money in at once. Also, that way you're not playing with the voucher on which you won. You see what I mean? It's a different voucher, and then go put them into, cash them out and do it again. So don't put the voucher that you won money on back into the machine. Put in a $20 bill and just avoid all that. It doesn't make a difference, but people want reassurance. And so this is reassuring. Don't use it. Set it up so that you don't put all your money in at once and just put cash in and vouchers out and have a stack of vouchers. And then cash them out at the machine that cashes those out, and then do it again if you want to stay. Yeah. So let's see. Improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You also get 3 free valuable bonuses plus 1 month free to my Slots IQ membership, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com/30days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. Okay, that's it. What a great live stream. I appreciate all of you. You'll see me here, my next live stream on Saturday at noon Eastern. Some of the furniture may be missing, but I'll be here. In the meantime, watch this video on a low-cost